Hey, y'all, welcome to Challenge Accept, the podcast where we challenge each other to a new movie or TV show every week. I am Frank, and I'm here with Thomas.
What's going on, everybody? And great save, because we are back with The Last of Us, Season 2.
Yes.
I can't believe it's been 2 years.
It's crazy. I was noticing that 2023, and I'm like, how has it been 2 years? This time is so weird right now.
How does it make sense after like the COVID era? Like nothing makes, like the world hasn't recovered even from that, you know?
No. That's so true. And it's been 5 years for our characters too. And I think they're kind of playing into it pretty well. I think they did a good job with that jump. They look solid.
So first off, I want to throw it out there just so everybody knows, like I didn't play The Last of Us Part 2, the game. I didn't play The Last of Us Part 1 either, but I had watched all the cutscenes for the first season. So I knew the beats. And like this one, I did that too, but it's been a while since I've watched it. So it seems like they're following it, but they're kind of doing things in a different order in a sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there so people know where I'm coming from with this.
Same here. I mean, I played a little bit here and there pretty recently, but then I had watched all the cutscenes when it first came out. And I had that one friend, Daniel, who was like, can you believe this person did that? And he's like freaking out over the game. And like, yeah. And so it's chaos. It is what it sounds like coming up. And we know that they're splitting the second game into two parts. And we're going to try to not give spoilers. Actually, this is a good time to give this shout out. We're not going to give spoilers to what happens based on the video game in this as much as we can. Over on Geek Freaks, which is coming out on Tuesday, we're going to discuss some of the differences that we suspect will be in the game, but we'll put a big spoiler tag before we start getting into that as well, which is only fair. All right.
Which is great. We're here to review the show. So let's, you know what I mean? I think you came to the right place for that.
In this episode, so we jump forward 5 years, and it seems like the big key right here is that Ellie and Joel are not getting along anymore. What are your thoughts on that? Why do you think because it was to the point where, I mean, it's just really good acting by Bella Ramsey, but I was like, be nice to him. At that going on myself.
Okay. So yeah, Christina and I were watching this and we were both like, Ellie is a dick.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. She's a teenager. You know, he even has that conversation with Gail where he's like, you know, oh, your teenage daughter doesn't like you. Yes. Okay. I get that. Makes sense. But she was annoying to me in this episode. Maybe that's how she is in the game. Maybe that's what they were trying to get across. But man, I was like, why are you being such a dick to him? Pedro, I just felt so bad for him as Joel. I feel bad for Joel in this episode because I'm like, he's trying so hard. And I felt like the reason why they're not connecting, or at least maybe they're trying to make us think this as a viewer, is that the secret that he held from her is now eating him up. And because it's eating him up, it then drives a wedge between their two characters. And, you know, over the course of 5 years, that secret then eats away at the relationship. That's what I took it as.
Yeah, I think it's eating her up too, right? Because she believes him. She doesn't believe him, actually. That's what I think happens, right? She doesn't believe him, but she's like, I get that. I have to say, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like in that moment, even at the end of last episode or last season, it was very clear, like, you didn't do anything. All right. Yeah, sure. You didn't do anything, kind of thing like that. And so I think they both know that he's lying, and that has put a wedge against them. And the whole time you're like, just tell her, Joel, just tell her, or just tell her, Joel. I think that would clear the air a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Because they go back to that scene at the beginning of this episode, right? And then you kind of see her and she's like, I guess I believe him. But she's like, what am I going to say? You know, it's not going to change anything. And that is the weird thing. I was very caught off guard. Okay, Kaitlyn O'Hara, we saw that she was in the trailer. I was like, oh, that's cool. But then she comes out and just says, you know, hey, you killed my husband, which I was like, holy shit, didn't know they were going to go there with this.
Yeah.
But you can even see, like, she's telling him, I know there's a secret in you. You want to get it out. Say it. And he can't, because he knows if he says it, not just like, there's no way she can keep that as a secret. There's no way the rest of the society can be on Joel's side or any, you know, like everybody's going to blame him for not, you know, almost saving humanity in a sense.
And what we see, I mean, not only saving humanity, but also bringing doom, because we see that Abby's crew, the Fireflies, are coming for revenge. They're coming to Jackson for revenge. So the enemies on the horizon are Joel's fault too. And it's like, I mean, it's all Joel's fault, but really he's just trying to be a nice guy. And it's like, no nice guys. They don't exist here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, well, there's no good deed that's unpunished, right? I don't know if that's exactly how the saying goes.
I know.
It's something like that. But yeah, I think this is very much one of those cases, right? For these shows, it's like a Game of Thrones. Like anytime somebody remotely seems nice or seems like they're doing things for the right reasons, all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose on them. And that's very much the case here. But I just love Joel. And another theme that I feel like I picked out in this episode is that they are both, Joel and Ellie are now part of the society. It's been 5 years. And even though they are a part of it, they're still kind of their own outsiders in a sense.
Yes.
Like they're trying to find their way in. They're trying to make it work with these people. But it just really, something about them will always distance them away from everybody else. Yeah. I don't know. I just felt like I got that from this episode.
They're both meant to be nomads on the road, I feel like, right? And the society life is not for them. Joel, he's doing his best. He's definitely helping a lot. You could tell he's like, the foreman and stuff like that. And that's helping a lot, although that's going to be its own problem. And then Ellie, she just wants to go out hunting. That's what she does with Joel. And that's the part that she misses with her and Joel. You could imagine that once they got there, they were bonding a lot less because they went from cannibals and hospital to suddenly they're in a place where they have to stand still. And that's just not their style.
I'm laughing like, can you imagine like our relationship's not good because our life's not threatened 24/7, know, or like there's not people trying to eat us now. How are we going to get along?
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous, but yeah.
Those father-daughter relationships, you need the cannibals in there every so often.
Right. Really, bring you closer together. Right?
Yeah. Let's talk about a couple of those new characters that we have popping up. So yeah, you mentioned Kaitlyn O'Hara is going to be, she's new to the story. But I think she's gonna be a really cool character. First off, I love Kaitlyn O'Hara, but Gail gives perspective. I think she's giving kind of what everybody is seeing out of Joel. That moment of clarity, and then later on at the dance, at the New Year's dance, when we see her looking at like this thing falling apart, I think she's gonna be kind of the eyes of the town and the narrator for the town. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She also seems like one of the only people that can call Joel out on his BS. Like even his brother can't. Right? Like when we first see Ellie and Tommy, they're hunting those zombies that are kind of out towards the bottom. He's like, I can tell, like I can tell, but I can't tell Joel no. Like, you know what I mean? So like he's afraid of his brother.
It's that younger brother thing or whatever. Yeah.
But I think everybody in the town kind of is. Even when that guy kind of says that little homophobic comment, Joel comes in and just body slams him.
Oh, nice.
Man, that was sick how they filmed it because it looked rough.
Yeah, I was like, get him.
Yeah, he checks him so hard. But I think everybody in the town, probably rightfully so, is like a little worried about Joel. And she is liquored up enough. They've had enough sessions now. Mm-hmm. And he was saying, like, it's awesome that he's going to talk to somebody because it would make sense, as they said at the end of the show, that you would talk to somebody in this crazy traumatic, like everything's traumatic at this point. You survived an apocalypse. But like, I think she's liquored up enough now to just call him out. And it's kind of like it breaks this barrier with him because he's not a guy that's not gonna punish you for nothing. Like he's only gonna punish you if you do something wrong. And I feel like she didn't really do anything wrong. She tells him like, you killed my husband. She has a right to be angry at him.
Of course. Yeah. And this is her first birthday without her husband. So of course she's reminded of him even more on this day. And it's this thing where I think we're going to see across town. Again, that's why I think O'Hara is going to be kind of the voice of the town, where there's so many people working together that wouldn't normally work together. But in the pre-apocalypse life, you would move away or you just wouldn't talk to them. Now you have to work together, and you would be morally objective if you were to not bring people in. Like Joel's saying, like, you just got to shut those doors and not bring any more people in. But that's not the rest of the town. The rest of the town's like, no, we have to save as many people as possible. But Joel, like Ellie, don't think that way. They're survival first. And that's why they'll survive, beyond these people in a way like that,
Right. Yeah, seemingly. But yeah, man. Yeah. But it's, totally. I love it. It just kind of just shows that there's still this thing that kind of distanced them. We also see that Ellie has kind of a new person she's interested in.
Right.
With Dina, played by Isabella Merced. And I think it's a great choice. Like, I don't know what Dina was like in the game, but she seems great. Like, I want to root for her. Mm-hmm. She seems like very lovable and very sweet and very herself. Obviously has the same sense of humor as Ellie, which I thought was like a cool nod, with the bad pun and joke.
Right. Yeah.
The barbecue.
Yeah.
It's so dumb, but it makes sense.
But boy, that's the key to Ellie's heart, isn't it? Those bad puns and stuff.
Yeah.
What I like is Ellie is very much like we were talking about beforehand. There's like lone person, very shut off. And then you have Dina, who's clearly the polar opposite of that, but like the right way, like the yin and the yang, where she's clearly like gets along with everybody else. She gets along with Joel great. And yeah, even Joel kind of makes it seem like my other daughter, the way that they talk about her with Kaitlyn. And so, those two work really well together. And I think that's going to be interesting to watch Bella Ramsey explore that, through the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was cool. Like there is definitely a level of maturity to Ellie now, which I really like. But yeah, this is the first time. Well, it's not the first time, but it's the first time in a long time that she's been able to find somebody that she's interested in. And also she talks about it in the end, when they're talking about the episode and their characters at the end of this one. Right. And she's like, I don't even think anybody would be interested in me. And then to have like the town popular girl be interested in her, it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And she's kind of nervous and she's kind of shy. But something about it is just so nice, especially when you get to the dance part of it. One thing though, I couldn't get over that was like frustrating the hell out of me. Maybe it was this way in the game, was when they go on the scouting event or the recon event.
Yeah.
And they go into the house and then Ellie is just like making jokes and like making a ton of noise and stuff.
Right.
I was like, what are you doing? Like, maybe now's not the time to joke. Like, I know you're immune to it, but like Dina's not. Like, what are you doing?
Here's my pitch on this. Is what I got from it. Because it reminded me in high school when I was awkward as fuck too. And I think what it is she's just like, I like this girl. I don't know what to do. And so she's kind of like overcompensating, trying to be flirty. Does that make sense to you? I don't know. That's how it was for me, where she's just like, I don't know what to say. Like, so like, I think she's joking too much beyond what she normally would, because she's kind of like, cute girl.
Cute girl, don't know how to act. Right. Okay, that makes a ton of sense for sure.
To me, that's what I got from it. I was like, oh boy, I've been there.
Yeah, okay, I feel that. But I was like, can you wait till you're not in like a zombie house?
Exactly.
Or
she's so comfortable there though. I think the most uncomfortable part of raiding this zombie house is the cute girl that's with her. I don't think it's the zombies. I think she's fine with those. And then when she learns that the zombies are learning and are smarter, that's when she's like, oh shit, wait a minute, survival mode again,
Yeah. Okay, I see that. Oh yeah, because she's flirting, her guard gets let down, and it only gets brought back up once she realizes one of the zombies or clickers can outthink or thinks a little bit smarter, starts hiding. Yeah. Okay. I see that. Yeah. I thought even Dina though, I was like, Dina, you are like way too confident, girl. Like you guys are just like how many missions have you been on? Like they were like SWAT, but like so confident. It was crazy.
Yeah. Even before they go in, like Dina's sitting there like listening to count how many clickers there are, and like Bella's just ready Ellie's ready to just go in with a gun, fire away. Right. So clearly different modes of doing things. Another character that will become very important is we have Abby. Kaitlyn Dever's playing Abby in this one. Yeah. Of the Fireflies, wanting revenge for the hospital finale that we had in the last season. And how do you think Kaitlyn's doing playing Abby so far?
Yeah, again, I probably will frustrate people who play the game. I don't have that much to compare it to. Okay. Like one thing I can say, like seeing Abby from the game, like just physically, she's pretty built. But Kaitlyn Dever is such a good actress. Mm-hmm. I love her. She was in this show called Dope Sick. And man, if you never watched that, it's about the opioid epidemic. That kind of, she plays this miner. And so like, miners are pretty tough. They're, in tough conditions and stuff. So it kind of, I can see why they picked her play Abby based on that role. And she's so strong and she's pretty cold blooded. Like I buy that she at least is carrying the characteristics of how Abby is in the game. Yeah. That,
she's also on the show called The Last of Us with I can't remember his name. Yeah. Not The Last of Us. The Last Man Standing. Oh my God.
I was like, she is in The Last of Us. You're right.
Late, guys. It's pretty late at night for us. So the rest of the Fireflies wanted to go to like Seattle or whatever to find the rest of the Fireflies. And she's like, no, we have to take care of Joel first. That kind of determination I'm excited to see. And that like mix of crying and determination in her face, I think is very good. I think it's something that might not have been in the game. I think showing that, kind of that empathy or whatever, like a little bit of woe is me. And that being the thing that pushes her, I think is going to help her out as a character overall and maybe be slightly more likable than the game version, which everybody hated. Not necessarily for, because she's a bad person, basically.
Yeah. So, I think, yes, it's so hard to talk about that without spoiling it. Yeah. Because I think that's too big of a spoiler for people, especially if you haven't played the game. But yeah, she's very much not a likable person in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're supposed to get on her side in a sense. You're supposed to see where she comes from. She's almost like Negan, right? Like in The Walking Dead in a sense. Like, I mean, for me, I was completely cut off from that once he killed Glenn. But if you kept watching that show, they're like, hey, Negan has other sides to him that he's not exactly bad. You know, he did what he did because of X, Y, and Z. And it's like, it's such a long road to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't stick around for it, but I can see if you do, maybe you are rewarded. Yeah. Seems like you were in the game too.
Him and Negan or Glenn's wife they have a show together now. Like they're on the road together. So that shows how much his character grew over time.
Yeah.
And the comic book, his standalone comic book is quite good.
Nice.
Yeah. I for those who did stick around, I think Abby's closer to the Whisperers. Just so everybody knows. So like they are so entrenched into their own ethos that they see justification in killing all other civilizations to make sure that theirs is the survivor. When normally you would presume, this is what I'm getting from it. You would presume they're like, no, any human is a good thing right now. And like, that's what Jackson's doing, right? Is taking in everybody. And the Abby's determination will be like, I'll kill everybody that had anything to do with this. And Jackson is just in the way, you know, and there's other bad guys too. We have a lot of other people coming up as well.
Right. Yeah. Right. We have like the WLF, right? Washington Liberation Front. And then she's part of the Fireflies, but there's like another thing, I guess. There's another faction out there. So it's like we're starting to see more on top of the factions that we saw last season in Kansas City. Like we're seeing how society, when you weren't in these major hubs, how it broke down and then what you had to do to survive on the outside. And like Abby's got her own little faction of those Fireflies with Danny Ramirez in there. I was like, holy crap.
He's next on my list. I was just like, Falcon.
Oh yeah. I was like, I did not know he was a part of the cast. Cause I focused on like young Manzino, who was in Beef. And I was like, oh, cool. He's getting a lot of lines in this show. So I'm excited to see him and what he does. But yeah, I was like, damn, Danny Ramirez, that's pretty cool.
I'll have to see, was he? Yeah, so it just shows that he's in the one episode because I was like, was he in the season one? And I just don't remember because his stardom is shot up. Yeah. Danny. Oh, yeah. His stardom shot up since season one, since the 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I don't see him in season one at all. I think he's just in this one now.
No, totally. I don't think he was in season one either because I don't even think Abby was in season one.
No, Abby's definitely not. Yeah.
Right. So I think we're just seeing her group kind of pop up now based off the repercussions of what Joel did. And I think it's a really strong kind of younger group who obviously Abby is a leader. Her boyfriend seems like he's probably co-leader or maybe was a leader and then got pushed out once Abby Revenge takes over. And it's like, I think she's going to do a great job. I think Kaitlyn Dever is a fantastic actress. I think she's going to embody everything that people know from Abby in the game. I don't think you have Neil Druckmann just like cast willy-nilly. So I think he's very much tied to these characters. So I loved it. I mean, I think it was a little bit slower of an episode for me. I'm kind of on the fence of like, is it good? Yes, it's a good premiere, but was it like great? Did it like absolutely hook me? Not necessarily for me. Right. It was just good. I'm still on board. Like I'm a fan of Andor, so I know good things come to those who wait, but it's like, it just wasn't like as compelling as I feel like the first episode of season one was.
Well said. I think the key is most season twos, you're continuing from season one. And this one feels like, okay, like the video game, season one is over here. 5 years later, now we have to reestablish our characters, the scope. The scope is far bigger now. It's not 2 characters anymore. Now we're following all kinds of characters. So I think it's almost like a premiere of a new series in a way. It's just that you recognize a couple people. And so it had to take time to kind of breathe, show you what life is like in this town and go from there. Like even our main characters are, substantially different than they were in the end of last season. So you have to kind of establish that new relationship as well. So this one did need more time to breathe. And I think we're going to get the benefit of that going forward. But you're right. It was slower. I, of course, am all in,
Yeah, 100%. It's like, I'm not going anywhere, but you're so right. It was a lot of scene setting in this. And it's cool. It's a cool world. It's cool to see how this society has now kind of thrived. There's way more people. It looks way bigger. We obviously see that it's going to get attacked on multiple fronts this season. Yes. And to see, I'm so sad. Like, I don't want to see it overrun, Yeah. But it's going to happen. Oh man, it's going to be chaos.
We had a teaser for some problems to come with the pipe too. Did you notice that? The fungus is inside. The fungus among us. There it is.
Well done. Yeah, it's cool how it's also a little different, I guess, than the game, because it's kind of growing underground, but it also provides more opportunities for them to do different things in the game. And just like that, using the pipes to get into the city. Wow, what a unique way to do it. And maybe that's like the eyes and the ears of the, cordyceps by the pipe. So, wow, what a, just little changes from the game to this still really works.
Duckman said there were some things that he wanted to do in the games he's bringing into the show. So there's some things that are literally improvements on the game based off the creator of the game. I love that idea too.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. It's what, man, I always screw up his name. This is a Game of Thrones guy.
George R. Martin.
George R. Yeah. I always want to say JR, but it's probably what he's going to do with his books. I feel like after the Game of Thrones finales, right?
Well, oh yeah. I see what you're saying there. Yeah. He's already changed characters though, based off of how well they did in the show. Like,
okay.
We don't need to go on that. Just,
right. I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Might as well. Shit. Everybody likes that one. All right. Let me up her up a little bit more. It was a great show, guys. We're going to be covering it every week here on Challenge Accepted, along with Andor, which is also coming out this week. And I'm like halfway through watching that show right now again. Yeah. And I'll try to do, a quick rundown of what happens in Andor as well. So keep an eye on all our social medias, guys, and we'll get that out there. But thank you guys for joining us. Anything else you want to say before we go further?
I just want to let people know, let us know what you thought about this. If there's any games or differences from the game that you saw in this episode that you really want to call out, leave us a review or hit us up on social media. We'll have some clips, and all that. We're going to be posting the episode link and everything, but come drop in the comments over there. We really want to hear what you guys think. And was this enough to keep you hooked for the season? There's so much good content out right now. Did this not crack into your top 5? Let us know what you think.
That'd be wild to me, but
good. Good.
All right, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.
Right.